Ready, set, go. Are you ready?
Yeah. We got the mug shots already. So.
Let's go. Hello everyone and welcome back to Nodi, the SUMO format here at Baumaus, a space dedicated to education, culture, work and the exploration of new imaginaries and practices of social justice. And with this project we want to share our vision of clubbing and an experience that goes beyond music, dividing into the many sides of the underground culture through direct conversation with key figures of the scene. And also supporting us tonight are Fleurs Sonores, a collective from Rome, with whom we built a relationship that reflects and amplifies our vision. And here tonight we have also Blunder from Fleurs Sonores. Hi, Ale.
Hi, everybody.
And so if you want to, resume a little bit what you're doing in Rome and with your crew.
Yeah, that was a lot of words to describe us. I'm Alessandro, stage name Blunder, artist name, I don't know how to say it. I'm part of a collective called Fleurs Sonores. We're from Rome. We try and push the UK, kind of a UK sound system culture in Rome, which is something is really lacking at the moment. Happy to be here with you guys.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So here comes CHATTERBOX. It's an idea where we exploring topics such as club politics, creativity, roots, and the future in general. We have the opportunity to chat with international artists and to learn about their experience and their perspectives. So today we're joining from the UK for the first time in Italy, actually, playing as a back-to-back DJ set. Let's say it because Mani Festo here already have been in Italy to play, and K-65. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. And they will share with us their first-hand insights in how creation and experimentation happens in the cradle of bass music that is the UK.
Yeah, I suppose.
How are you guys?
We're good. First time in Italy for me, playing. You played in Turin before.
Turin and Venice, yeah, it was super fun.
Fancy.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks to you. As our first question, we want to ask you if you can give us an anecdote about everything started in your musical journey.
Yeah, for me, I suppose it's a weird one. When everything started, it's hard to pinpoint it, but I was having a think on the way here, and it dates right back to being 14, 15 years old, and we're going out with my mates for the first time with a little JBL speaker or whatever, and I'd be the person who would be putting the tunes on, and it was the first days of listening to the most basic house music, and like Jujamont and stuff like that, and Oliver Heldens. That was kind of, if we're going as far back as I can really think, that and maybe some of my parents' influence is where the influence has come from me, and pretty soon after that, when I hit about 16, I was figured out what Fruity Loops was, and was I reckon I could make this stuff, this really basic house music, organ house, M1 synth stuff. I was I could do that, and got Fruity Loops, and I was shit, and I couldn't make anything. And I got my mates around one day, and I was listen to what I've done, and they were that's crap, and I was oh. That was the first week of me producing. But yeah, that was kind of, if we're dating it right the way back, that would have to be the earliest, I reckon, for me.
And what about you?
So I was getting into electronic stuff when I was in school. I was 15, listening to trance, drum and bass. I was banging to left field. And I started getting interested in DJing and sort of messing around, but not too much. And then when I was 17, I went to a free party. Heard about this free party on the beach where I was living, went, and it was it was shit, right? It was just a bunch of old dudes with some decks on the beach, but it was the first thing I'd ever been to, and I was shit, yeah, this is cool. 2 weeks later, I did my own party, just bundled a load of stuff in my little car and went out into the woods, and we had about 30 people, and ever since then, it's just been on,
That's a crazy journey.
way cooler than my journey. Like, you know, like in school, we listened to Left Field already and listened to drum and bass, and I was like, yeah, Duke Dumont and fucking Oliver Heldens.
You were in the shitty house.
Yeah, but I'm showing my age, right?
I mean, drum and bass was around when I was 15 as well. I could have listened to cooler music. Your school must have been cool.
You could be cooler, yeah.
I mean, you are now, so.
So guys, what is a track or an artist that still keeps you moving? Something that you recall from a particular moment in your career that is like your mantra, kind of the track or an artist that you go to when you need inspiration, need to pick up yourself. I don't know, something that really, it's your main, like, this is my vibe.
For me, one of the tracks, the figure tracks in my producing timeline that was like, whoa, what's that? Was when I started off, I love my bass line, and then I went into my drum and bass stuff, and I kind of started producing drum and bass, and I was never like really, really good at it. Never really good at it, but when I figured out what breaks was, and there was like, in the UK especially, there was this kind of like 90s revival thing. Club Glow were one of the first groups I heard doing it, which is Nick's thing with L Major, Denim Audio, and
forgotten the name of the other one.
And Borai. And yeah, it was like really kind of 90s influence, breakbeat stuff. And it was around COVID time. I was watching a Object Boiler Room in Vienna, and he plays this track. I think DJ Bogdan is Object, I think. And yeah, my track is Love in a Basement by DJ Bogdan.
Nice, let's hear it.
The Midnight Ecstasy
DJ
mix.
Simone specifically.
Yeah.
Old school beat.
Free your body and your mind.
This is the proper hardcore sound, of course, no?
Yeah, and like the breaks, there was something about breakbeats that always really like stuck out to me. From like Amen breaks in Jungle and whatever, and then like when I started hearing them over the top of, well, dating back to like 90s tapes from these Fantasia raves that my dad was showing me and whatever, just these slower tempos when it gets down to like 130 to 150. It just stuck out to me. That and Acid and like the 303 sound was just like, whoa. And with this track, yeah, I just thought the structure of it as well is like, it flows. It's not set to anything specific, and I just thought it was great.
Thank you for sharing. And what about you, Nick?
Yeah, so the tune that sticks out for me, just from like over the years, and it's like a really good idea and it's perfectly executed, and it's Pearson Sound Blanked. And I think the reason it's resonated so much is because I've heard it in so many different spaces and contexts, in different sets, in different clubs, in different festivals. And it just, for me personally, it just hits this point that like, I feel like I've always been striving for. It's got this like euphoria, but that kind of melancholy euphoria. But it's also got these elements of like grit and sort of, it's like grime, drum and bass, breakbeat, bass music. It's got all this stuff all in one. And yeah, I don't think there's many tracks that can do that and do it so well. So yeah, Blanked Pearson Sound is for me.
Just let's have it here. Yeah, it's so dreamy and yeah, really, really nice.
Yeah, there's one particular memory of Loafer playing it in Corsica Studios at a Swampay One party, and like it just shut the whole fucking club down. It was mad. Yeah, that's a tune.
Do you think you've made any tunes that are like sort of based off that? Like Continuum?
Like all of them.
Continuum, your tune Continuum,
yeah.
like has that big breakdown, the kind of the start that's like the bass music bit, and then it goes into that breakdown of like proper musically kind of put together.
Just never been able to execute it as well as he did.
Side
basically.
hustle a bit as well with the kind of bass.
There's proper influence in it.
I mean, as you've mentioned, Corsica Studios, like my mind goes to like we're kind of witnessing a radical change into the UK club culture, but like the European and Western world club culture in general. Do you think we're like moving forward, we're moving backwards, and as of today, like 2025, what's the one thing that is adding value to our scene? Like I'm saying our scene because it's everybody's scene at the end of the day.
Welcome, HLRTY.
Welcome, man.
What time to come in?
Yeah, serious question time.
Interesting question. As for adding value, I don't know. I think it goes through cycles, right? Like anything in life, everything goes through cycles. And I think we're at this point at the moment where electronic music became super, super popular like a few years ago and kind of blew up again, which has happened before. But with like that Interplanetary Criminal and all this sort of like everything going mad and charting to number one or whatever. The like music industry has been infiltrated by business and corporate like money.
Yeah, big time.
You see it with like these fucking festivals getting bought out by investment firms, and just generally like the music industry feels, to me anyway, my personal take is that it's kind of sucking the life out of it a little bit. And we're kind of at a point now where there's more people trying to do cool shit than there is sort of resources to go around. Do you know what I mean? That's why clubs are shutting. That's why promoters are struggling, because there's not enough people to get into the clubs, because there's all this big money stuff happening, and the young people who don't really like haven't been educated yet are just drawn to the lamp, right? Like the big party at, like in London at the moment is Drum Sheds. I don't want to say it's bad mouth in Drum Sheds, but it's like it's a huge venue, and the small venues are struggling.
I mean,
because
it's kind of similar to what it used to be Printworks back in the day.
Yeah. Exactly.
Different styles.
Slightly different style, yeah. But it's like it's big events like that are taking the entire market.
Yeah.
So then it leaves nothing for the smaller things. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's necessarily a bad thing, because as we go through the cycle, younger people that come into it and start to do their own thing find their own way, which is obviously super exciting and interesting. I personally am not that young person, so I don't know what that is or what that looks like. You know what I mean? But like that's my hope, in that people will find something new to latch onto and make it really cool again.
How would you think, as an artist, like we're probably talking about like, this big corporations investing into festivals and club nights, drawing all the attention. As an artist, how can we like promote the DIY situations, which are, I think, like in my opinion, are the ones that are carrying on the innovation as well into sounds. Like we got so many new artists as well, starting from DIY situations, DIY club nights, and then making the way, maybe if they choose to, making the way into bigger events and that sort of like different things happening. Like as an artist, how can we draw more people into this sort of like events? It's a $1 million question. I get it.
It's a very hard question to answer.
I know.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because like it depends what you see as what is a good event and what isn't. I think what Nick's saying is like as you get older, you appreciate more those. The best nights I've ever had in clubs have been small clubs, like 500 to maximum, not even 1,000. It's a dark room. There's not a fancy light show going on. It's just a club that's like and there's a feeling in there. And you know, you get these kind of like no phones policies nowadays. Some clubs don't even have to say, oh, there's a no phone policy, because people
like,
just get it. People just get the vibe. And like these new big companies coming in they're going, what are we going to do? Oh, we're going to make a room with 10,000 people that can fit in, and we're going to do the maddest laser show, and it's going to be this and it's going to be that. And then that just attracts young people who haven't properly felt what it's like to be in a mad club situation, like I was on about, like a stripped down one, which is better, right?
Yeah.
They gravitate towards that. Everybody's phones out, and it's what we all sit up here and go, oh, that's what's wrong with it. And like, I'm not going to be like the 10 millionth person to be like, yeah, it's phones, no phone policy, blah blah blah. I just think if we're looking at where clubbing should be going, maybe we should look at not just trying to make the biggest venue possible, and not trying to put on the craziest like light show, and just focusing on, like, my two favourite clubs in the UK are White Hotel in Manchester and Fold in London. And like both clubs, they're pretty dark. But White Hotel is like, it's got one light in there, I reckon. Like this one red light. It's like, it's just, without going there, you can't really explain the vibe. But I think everybody can like appreciate that. They all have a club in their head when I'm on about this, of like your club that does that for you. And I go to, if I've been to Printworks, I've been to Warehouse Project, and they're a little bit lifeless. They're good nights, but they're like,
yeah. I mean, I don't want to sound hypocritical. I've started listening to electronic music and participating to electronic music events through big events, obviously, because like that's something like when you're not deep into it, it's the first thing that comes to mind. Like the first thing you see, they're well advertised, there's big lineups, so you start going there. But like, as a person, Alessandro, as a person, like I've stopped at some point because I couldn't feel the vibe into that. And yeah, going to Fold in London, Corsica Studios, like I understood how different the vibe was and the meaning that it had as well. So yeah, I mean, I didn't want to make that question to, you know, as well sound hypocritical, but I understand, like, how can we shift? Like, is it just a natural thing to shift from like bigger events, and then as you grow older, you start like realizing that you like DIY realities, you want to do to different parties? Or is it, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I suppose the thing with these big Warehouse Project type things is they've got the budget to put on these crazy lineups, which I'm not expecting out of a club like White Hotel or whatever, to be able to put one night on and like everybody play and be some massive name. But again, as you get older, you realise that these massive names aren't even the ones you really want to see. These ones that are like the big money names. And like, you know, I'm not saying like people like Helena Hauff, she's brilliant and she's in White Hotel all the time, but like the lineup underneath her when she's playing is like, sometimes a lot of the time I don't know who it is, or like Stingray's playing and the undercard is just, and they're better sets sometimes. And like, I think the direction, I don't know if this is like an idealist world, or because I'm not in events at all, but like I'd love to see like really small clubs, like 200, 300 cap venues, being able to get the funding to put on like a big name. Like I don't know, I feel like that's not feasible at all in the UK. And it's like, people will be like, yeah, that's just stupid, you never make the money back. But charge 20 quid, charge 20 quid a person on the door, but have like a ridiculous headliner. Because these 200 cap venues are like, yeah, it's £5 entry. And it's like, yeah, I wouldn't mind paying 20 quid for something like that. Warehouse Project's 70 quid on some of these nights, and like people go out once every 3 months to afford that, and it's just like,
I mean, the tricky thing with that is like, obviously artists having to drop their fees for small clubs, which is not a simple thing to say, oh, it should take lower fees for small clubs. But like, when you have got like Warehouse Projects or whatever this big event is that are paying everyone tons of money, and then they put in clauses in their contracts that say that they can't perform in that city or country for another 6 months or whatever, then it does mean that they're capitalizing on the entire thing. And like, I personally have this worry about art in general, whether it's music, whether it's like TV, film, whatever, like, with the way AI is going, I don't want to get into an AI conversation, but we're looking at like these corporations being able to just completely capitalize on all of it. And then your entire stream of content comes from like you log into Spotify, all the music's AI generated. Because you like drum and bass, you get fed a new drum and bass tune every day, and it's no one's made it. And you go to these clubs, and it's like everything's just curated for you. Like the younger generation, I'm worried that they don't get the chance to discover because it's made for them. And like that's what you're saying there about the clubs, like that's a thing, right? Like if you've got a big venue and they're putting on what everyone gets to see, they don't get to choose. They don't get to go to the small club and discover it because it's not there anymore. It loses its thing. I do believe that that's not going to happen because I think the younger generations always find a way to rebel against it.
Yeah, there's always going to be like, you know, a base of
100%.
people. Yeah.
But
yeah,
I feel like we're reaching this kind of like plateau of it at the moment where it's getting kind of shit. And like, I'm waiting for this thing to just pull the rug.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing as well like artists pulling away from Spotify, pulling away from so many platforms that are like kind of contributing to this happening. So I think like something is moving, but yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I think that also like, you know, for the young and the new generation, it's very easily to access to venue also by, you know, communication and big communication and, you know, the social networking stuff and all this communication. I think that maybe it's the fact that affect the club nowadays because, you know, for all the, I don't know how you live about social network and music. I don't know if you use it for work and what are your thoughts about it?
Social media.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to. I don't really see how, as a new artist nowadays, you could try and get gigs or promote your music without having social media. And like everybody I speak to wishes they didn't have to do that, and wishes there was an alternative way. And at the minute, there isn't a way around it. I don't think. I think you've got to. No one's going to know that you're playing, or no one's going to know that you're releasing a EP on Friday if you don't post about it, you know what I mean? So it's like, you've got to.
Yeah, I think that this is the part that we lost, the discovering through listening and through exploring new club and new.
Yeah, I mean,
new
loads
places.
of young people taking off Spotify.
Yeah.
And that's worrying. I was one of them as well. And then I moved to different platforms, but like, yeah, it's happening.
I mean, I unfortunately, I met a lot of people that knew artists because of their Instagram reels and their that kind of.
I did get to know some new artists through Instagram, and as much as I hate it, I agree with Joe. Like it's necessary. Like it's the only way you can punch through this business. As in now, we should find an alternative, 100%. But for now, I don't see how we can move on from this.
We do need an alternative. I personally hate it. I've moved away from it a bit recently, which has been good for my soul. But it's a necessary evil. I think ultimately, like, we just need to see more solid underground communities of people doing good underground parties that just basically tell the system to fuck off.
Yeah, and that word of mouth thing of like, you know, having these parties and people talking about it and it being like something special rather than what's going on now. Like, I don't know. It's in a bit of a hole in the minute, I think.
Yeah, sure. I think it's needed, as you say, but I also really appreciate the positive of it, that people getting out of Spotify, like artists taking the music off Spotify, people choosing other platforms, a lot of artists just releasing on Bandcamp. Also to, let's not get into the political side of Spotify, but maybe on the royalties sides, maybe Bandcamp just pays what is due to the artists that publish. A lot of labels starts to publish only through digital, but on Bandcamp or just on hardware copies, so vinyl that is coming back. So it's beautiful to see that. And I see young people just choosing to buy vinyls with a passion that we used to have. Then it moved to CDs, then it was digital, but then we are going back. And I also see that we are going back to social networks. A lot of people, maybe artists, they try to say for mental health, for example, to get off the social networks. People trying to gather more and more. Also, we can see with the social and war and stuff that people are uniting, they're sharing, they're talking. So I think the direction is right. The moment is difficult, but I think we're gonna go, like, we're gonna abandon all this shit. Also, I think maybe it's because of ads just for example, advertisement, it's too much. Maybe you're on socials, you use it not too much, you discover something, it's a media to find something new, but also you're like every 2 posts there is an advertisement, you get tired of it and you just like, what the fuck, I don't care anymore. And I found myself scrolling, and then even if I'm interested, I just close the app and I'm like, fuck off, I don't care. And so I hope this kind of going towards this is gonna go like going back to vinyl, going back to analog, going back to talking with people, going back to small clubs, going back to free parties and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, physical releases for sure, like sold through Bandcamp or similar platforms, are really making it sustainable for some labels, like freshly started labels, to actually survive. Which leads me to another question. Like we're seeing, like, as in 2025, there's so many, like there's a booming of like new labels. Is it because like there's so many people right now producing and, you know, mixing up sounds as well? There's so many different sounds, they're blending so many genres. So is it like is the labels booming because of it's a different sounds which are really hard to place on some well-established labels, or is it something like did it get cheaper to actually put on a label, which maybe can be, I don't know, 50 physical copies of vinyls, or, you know, limited releases, and then all digital? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean,
you put on your label.
I've literally made a label in 2025, but like, I think there's a few reasons why people do it. I think one, people just want to get into the music industry whatever way there is. Like, some people can't be bothered to learn how to produce. They'll sit down for a few weeks and be like, oh, fucking hell, I wish I'd started this 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Can't be asked to learn Ableton. People go into DJing and they figure out that's not going to happen for them. And they're like, what's the next best thing? I could either do events, or I could put my own label on. I know loads of people who make good music, and I'll get their music and I'll put them out and I'll have a cut of it. That's what people think. For me, it was a necessity thing of like, I was getting let down by labels too often about like, yeah, we'll take your tunes, we'll
and then you're just on hold for like
we'll
6,
release your
7 months,
tunes, and then it's like a year later you're waiting around like, what's going on? Are we gonna release these or not? And you're getting aired on the emails and whatever. That's happened like multiple labels, and it's a momentum thing. I feel like if you really want to have a good crack at this, you've got to not only release good music, but you've got to release consistently. And like, you don't want to be having 6 months off between your last release and where you're at now. Like, not only that, like the music that you say that will go out with these labels ends up becoming old, ends up becoming like a year and a half old, 2 years old. You've released stuff that you said before that's like 4 years old, and it's like, by that point, as an artist, you're putting that out, going like, this isn't my best work.
Do you still like it after 4 years? That's the question.
That's what I mean. Like,
I can categorically say absolutely not. No, I've had that experience where I'm like, fuck, this has come out, I forgot about it and I hate it.
Or sometimes you fall back in love with it.
No.
No, it's yeah, for me, making the label was a necessity thing. And like, I want to, if I've got a release in January and a release in May, I'll bang a release of my own in the middle, and then that's my momentum. There's a lot of labels, but I think there's a lot of shit labels.
Is it too many labels?
No. I think, like, if you're going to start releasing music in this age in 2025, you should either self-release or build a collective and build a label and do it yourself. Like, fuck waiting around for these big labels. Most of them are major label backed anyway, and like we said, you'll be waiting a year for your release to come out, and then they do what you could have done anyway, and they kind of hinge off of your socials to push it, right? Like, back in the day, you needed a label to market your work.
Yeah, because they would do the promotion as well.
Exactly. They were funding it, they would do it, they were pressing it, they were going out and selling your music, right? That's the job of a label. Now labels don't really do that much. They just kind of like post it on Bandcamp and that's it.
Yeah, I guess it's a platform.
Yeah, so make your own platform. Like, why do you need the labels? Don't wait around. Like, you've got the power in your hand to do it all yourself as an artist. Like, you can push your socials, you can create your records, you can sell them on Bandcamp. Like, you can do it all yourself. We did it with Club Glow. Mm-hmm. And like, no one else wanted to release our music, so we were like, fuck it, we'll make our own label.
We'll release it. Yeah, fair enough.
So I think everyone should do that.
Do you think this could be the new pirate radio station going against the majors in the 90s.
I mean, I love the idea of that. I guess back to the earlier point, like the majors have still got loads of money in the game, right? They've just got money in the smaller labels now, but like, I think you can tell the difference when something's grassroots and when it's not.
I mean, there's loads of non-major backs labels that are like their marketing tactics and system they've got set up is way better than anybody who's just starting a label is going to be able to do. So there is still point in releasing with other labels. I think as a producer, I don't think you should just be like, yeah, just go and release on your own label and that's it. I think having a combo of the two is good. And like also like kind of what you're saying is having that sort of portfolio of like, say if you start your own label, you created this and you've learned stuff about a process in the industry, about how to release music. I think there's no bad that can come of everybody having a label. Obviously not everybody's gonna have a label, but like you're asking if there's too many labels. I think it's a good thing, but it all depends on quality of music. People can't start just releasing crap. Like there's enough crap out there.
Eventually they would.
Well, I think there already is a lot of crap.
Yeah.
I just think if everybody had a label, there'd become a lot more crap, because one thing stopping a serious amount of crap getting released, people don't need to release their crap. They don't need to.
But if you got your own label, you can actually release that crap. You know what I mean? That's why I asked, is it too many labels?
But you don't even need a label. You can just use DistroKid and do it anyway.
True that.
Like whether you like it or not, the platforms are there now to release whatever you want, even if you spent 5 minutes on it. So like label or no label, you can still release it.
Yeah, and you shouldn't.
I want just to take a moment to introduce HLRTY with us, and I want to
Ciao.
Hello, mate.
ciao.
Hi,
How you
nice
doing?
to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
by the way-
to ask you also if do you think that because are you producing into we just can say it an international label, or do you think it's a necessity to go in a non-Italian labels? Because
Yeah, for me was like, to release on another label that was, I make English music basically. I make music that is inspired to English club. So I need to release music on an English label, at least to start. And then, it's hard to explain because first of all, I'm not confident with speaking with microphone in front of people. First of all, and also, I don't know. For me, that I'm Italian, so I don't live the clubs as you live in the UK. So we live in a different idea of clubbing and of making music. So for us, it's really difficult to get into the industry, the underground industry, but we can call it underground industry, I think. And for me, it's super important to release in big labels to get known. But at the same point, you can do content and release by, DJ Swisha, for example, is a classic example of making music and release by himself without any labels, any stuff. And it's pretty sick, I think. But I don't know, for me, we European think in another way about
You think
this.
you think you need to get into the UK market, like get UK listeners.
Yeah. For me, it's like
Have you just done a release of Koido?
Just release,
And you've also released on Pineapple.
Yeah.
Right, so
on May,
Pineapple's Sam Binger's label, right?
Yeah.
And did you that?
You released too?
With Sir
Cerise,
Hits, yeah. How did you feel that went? Like, did you releasing with Pineapple? Did you feel like you got a lot of?
I have 0 gigs about it, so I mean, never changing. But it's about getting viewed by people in general, by the industry. So I received, for example, for the first release on Pineapple, a lot of follows, a lot of support from people from the scene. So for me, in this moment in my career, I don't want to call career, but we can call it like that. I don't know. Yeah. In my career, it's super important to get in touch with like Sam Binga, with you guys, and in general, get network, because it's mostly network. DP went well, I think so, because it was well played by DJs in general, but
Yeah, and this is what I was saying earlier about, like, you know, if everybody just released their own music, you'd be missing out on that, because releasing on Pineapple, which is a good label in the UK, has loads of followers. They've done a job on your EP that you couldn't have done if you'd have just released it yourself.
Exactly.
And I think it's important to keep both going. Like for me, someone with my own label now, I will release on my own label, but I also definitely want to make sure I'm releasing on labels that can get me up, like, put me in front of more people that don't already follow me.
By the way, I have already got my label, so it's not a label; it's a space for me and my friends to share our musical vision. But without the Pineapple release, is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's basically, I need this kind of release to be viewed by the scene in general. So I don't know. Also, working with Sam Binga is really good because he's a nice guy. You can speak with him through WhatsApp. He's not like the kind of guy with email. I'll send me emails. We chat on WhatsApp. Like I send him the preview. That are mostly like. I'm mostly like vocal messages. So you know what I mean. So it's good to work with a person like that. But mostly in the industry are super like, yeah, send me through the mail, send me through the Dropbox link and stuff like that.
I think that's really important as well.
Yeah. So we need to research also a collab not only with. We are underground. That's all. Yeah. We need to be underground in the social, in socialize and live as a real person. You know what I mean?
100%. I think that's a really important point. It's like, yeah, working with other labels is great, but like when you connect with people on a human level and it's not a business transaction, suddenly it changes the whole dynamic of like you doing that. You know what I mean? Like when I work with people with my label, with Flypath, it's like I want to feel like we're friends, right? I don't want it to be a business transaction. Like,
Exactly.
So I only really work with people that I get on with and we kind of have built a relationship and it becomes part of a wider community. So I think that's a really important point.
Yeah, on the topic we were talking about the big parties and big labels and whatnot before. If not in these occasions, like today, for example, when you go to a fucking big party, there is no contact between the crowd and the artist. There is no contact also with the artists. I think about festivals. People just come into the flight, get taxied to the stage, play and go away. They don't talk with anyone. It's really difficult to build a network between artists and also to build a contact with the crowd. So I think it's important to stay this way.
Yeah, some of the best networking I've ever done has been at festivals. Like I've gone to play at a festival and then afterwards come off and just got around for the weekend and bumped into other DJs that have been playing who I've never met before, but I follow them on Instagram or whatever, and we've got chatting, and then people who might have come and seen the set who give me feedback on the set, and it's just like it's a nice networky thing, and like you're completely cutting that out if you decide to be one of these people who's like, yeah, get there, do the set, go. I understand some people they're busy and they might have to go to another set, but
I think should be number one rules, like be kind to artists.
It's a good social opportunity.
We're human, and so
yeah.
And we want to ask you if there are, innovative parties or club that you've been that you take inspiration from right now.
I think for me, the most inspired I've been has like over the last couple of years with parties and events has been when I've been traveling, particularly in the East. So like I've been on tour in India a couple of times and it's like super DIY, super grassroots. Like sometimes the venue you're playing in is a restaurant. Like, you know what I mean? But like, and you kind of walk in, you're like, really? Here? Like, are you sure? And 3 hours later, it's fucking popping off. So like, yeah, India inspires the shit out of me. And New Zealand as well, like, I went to a festival last year. I played New Year's Eve, a festival called Twisting Frequency. And it's like really small, like 3,000 people in this valley in the mountains. And it's like 2 stages, psytrance, bass music, like really just complete split. And I don't know, there was something about the like vibe of it that just inspired me so much. Like everyone was super nice. Like there wasn't that, there was no feeling of like there's a drug that's got the hold of this. It wasn't cokey, it wasn't ketty, it was just nice vibe. Like everyone was lovely. I don't know. Yeah, it just resonated with me on a different level. And people were like, there was like a level of creativity with the bass music that I haven't heard from anywhere else, because they have this super big psytrance thing down there. But they love dubstep and drum and bass. So there's like this cross pollination of the two. And I was like hearing music I've never heard before. Like, geez, this is sick. So yeah, I'd say that for me, definitely.
Yeah, you come back proper inspired after that time in, I think it was New Zealand and Australia. You got big into your psytrance out there, or what's it, bush prog? Bush prog.
Yeah, sick.
Started wearing tie-dye t-shirts and getting mad tattoos. It's been lost to the trippies. Like.
Acid casualty.
Really nice to hear. So let's get to the end of this hour. It's difficult for them also, but we have a party to enjoy. So I have a question. You're gonna play here back to back for the first time in Italy. You are playing back to back lately, I think more than once. You have really different careers. You just started kind of. You have more years of experience. What led you to play together, and why in back to back?
Well, like you said earlier, Nick's got his label. I kind of met him through, well, it's a bit of a long story, but I released on his label. We hung around in London a bit, and we got on and we played similar sort of music, and also like rated each other's music. So I think it was inevitable that we were going to end up doing back-to-backs and stuff together. But yeah, we've done, how many have we done now? That one at Tridium.
1.5. You can't count that one.
Yeah, Nick got a little bit drunk at the Tridium festival.
I got drunk. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
But we took it seriously at Boomtown, and it was a bit better. The quality of set, because yeah, the Tridium festival set, it's a good festival. I'm not knocking the festival, but
you couldn't stand up.
Yeah, it was one of those. And Boomtown was good though.
Boomtown was good. For context, Joe's tutor at uni was Om Unit.
Yeah.
And Om Unit randomly sent me an email one day with a folder of tunes, and he was like, "This is one of my students. I think he's sick. I think you'll like it." And I downloaded it, and I was like, "Yeah, this is sick." So I just started playing these tunes in every set for like a year. And then I started chatting to Joe. I was just like, "What the fuck are you on?" And yeah, then signed some tunes to my label, and then we got in the studio a few times, and then it was like, let's start doing some back-to-backs. So here we are.
So Joe, you did studio university, like music production or something like this?
Yeah, music production was the course title, yeah.
Was it Bristol?
Yeah, in Bristol.
Which uni?
BIM, B-I-M-M.
Oh, okay, a BIM.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Om Unit was my lecturer. For the third year, like the final project was like 30 minutes of audio. I was kind of, instead of people having to do like a 15 million word dissertation, like I had to do 30 minutes of tunes basically, and then do a little write-up about it.
I went to music performance and production
like,
as well.
So chilling.
It's
like,
different. It's different.
I just did 2 EPs, like 2-3 track EPs. I was like, this is brilliant. And yeah, he kind of like was the guy who mentored us through that dissertation period, and yeah, he set me up with Nick, and yeah, then we started getting in the studio. We've done a few studio sessions now. Studio sessions with Nick seem to just work. Like we come out with stuff that we released an EP in June on Flight Path, which is not like anything that I've made really. It's not kind of I'm way more bass musicy, way more darker, but this is like a kind of trancey. It's like I was saying about him being into that bush prog or whatever.
Tie-dye t-shirt music.
Okay. It come down on me in those studio sessions, and we were making some weird shit, and it's I really like that EP. I think kind of that we had the collab track Genesis Block,
yeah,
and I made a tune that kind of I felt like suited that vibe, and then and so did Nick, and we got a 3-track EP together, and it's a good little body of work, but like nothing like what I'd make normally.
I mean, that's the good thing about collaborating with other people, you know, like just sharing influences, and maybe sometimes it just comes up with a completely different outcome.
Yeah, and then we've got a 6-track EP coming out at the start of next year.
I want the previews, by the way.
Yeah, maybe. And
Thank you.
Play it tonight.
It's complete. Couldn't be any further away from the one in June. It's like really nasty bass musicy electro stuff that's like way more what I do, right? And way more what you do as well. That EP in June was weird.
It's also on a label I've wanted to release on for ages, so pretty happy about that. It's pretty
Cool.
good. Yeah.
Can't wait.
We just wanted to ask to someone if there is any question, if you want to do any question, or just repeat, what is the region of your name?
God.
No, you first.
Mine's so unbelievably boring that like it's just gonna be like, oh, okay. So I'm not even gonna tell you.
Fair enough.
Leave it at that.
Gatekeeping.
I can't remember why yours is 65, but I know the K is your surname.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Thanks. Mine's also really boring. I couldn't think of a name for years. I used to be DJ Ewok from Star Wars, right?
That's crazy.
Years ago, when I was doing drum and bass at free parties and that, yeah. And then I was like, I need a new name. This is shit. And I couldn't think of one. And I spent like a year trying to think of one. And then I was watching the news one day and there was like political party on there talking about their new manifesto. And I was like, oh, if I've just put a space in there, it sounds like a name. That'll do.
Someone asked what political party. But
Fuck knows. It was like whoever was currently talking shit on the news. Like they're all, yeah.
Makes sense.
I thought your name was Mani for ages, and I was like, that's
You're not the only one.
That's such a cool name. And then you're like, no, my name's Nick. I was like, oh,
That's boring. Yeah, it's a boring story.
I think most people's name origins are boring stories. It's like, with my name, it was like some of these suggestions getting thrown around. Basically, I had an EP that was coming out and I didn't have a name yet. It was my first ever EP, and it was like, what are you going to be? The label was like, what are you going to be called? What are you going to be called? I was like, fucking hell. And I was asking round, and people were like, why don't you be called Reptile and shit like that? It's just like, that's so wanky. Like, I'm not fucking, yeah. So like, yeah, it kind of, no one's name is that good. Like, even look at Oasis, right? They're the biggest band around, and they're fucking, Oasis is such a shit name. If you think about it, it's such a shit name.
We can't all be Massive Attack, can we?
Yeah, there is some cool names. Sumo's a cool name, I think.
Sumo is a cool name, actually, yeah.
The story of that is really complicated, but really stupid as well. So guys, let's hear just one stupid question to have a laugh, and then we'll close it with the final one. You said you're gonna play some unreleased tracks. How is your USB organized? Are you a messy guy or are you an ordered?
No,
Be truthful.
My USB is meticulous. I have a bit of a like OCD kind of weird thing about organizing shit. So yeah, I've got like loads of playlists. It's all vibe sort of separated. I don't know. It goes deep. I couldn't explain it.
And me and Nick are just like opposites in a lot of ways. Mine is a mess, an absolute mess. It's like on like big gigs, I'll like get a folder together and be like, this might be what I want to play if I'm like feeling nervous about a gig. But like a lot of the time I'm just like, I know where everything is, it's fine. It's like electro, breakbeat, kind of, there's no date to it. It's like, it's a mess.
Do you think that your USB reflects you?
Yeah. It definitely
Reflects
him.
So guys, thank you so much. And
cheers.
we're going to enjoy the party and have fun, people.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Thank you. Grazie mille.
Grazie mille. Grazie mille.